a guide to building sustainable, compliant, and tech-forward structures in a post-BEPS world. In today's hyper-connected world, every country wants a piece of your profits. This has made tax planning a necessity, not an option. Companies are now looking to build structures that don't just save tax, but also withstand scrutiny. And the solution lies in the often overlooked aspect of international corporate structuring, double tax treaties, or DTAs. Hi guys, in this episode, we're taking a deep dive into DTA optimization, the art and science of utilizing double tax treaties to mitigate risks and enhance cross-border transactions. But it's not just about exploiting tax benefits. We'll be talking about a strategic approach to international finance that aligns with evolving global norms and emerging technologies. Before we dive into our use cases and rebuild Apple's model, let's discuss 3 key points to keep in mind. Number 1, substance. As we all know, the days of shell companies and aggressive tax planning are coming to an end. The OECD has been tightening the noose on base erosion and profit-shifting activities. So any structure you build must be backed by substance. What does this mean? Every entity in your international structure should have a real economic presence. They should have offices, employees, and importantly, they should conduct genuine business activities. For example, if you're operating in Singapore, your holding company must hold real assets, make strategic decisions, and manage risks. It shouldn't just exist on paper. This brings me to point no. 2. Legal and compliance strategy. Your structure should be designed not to evade taxes, but to minimize them within the bounds of the law. It is crucial to understand how DTAs work and how they can benefit your business while ensuring full compliance. Let's take Singapore, for example. If you're setting up a holding company there, you need to make sure that it meets the local economic needs test. This means that your Singapore holding company should hold significant equity in your foreign operations and exercise real control over these investments. Point no. 3. Technology. We're living in the age of digital transformation. There are innovative technologies and tools that can help us optimize structures and ensure compliance. This includes advanced contract analytics, AI-powered DTA mapping tools, and blockchain-based compliance tracking software. Let's take a look at Apple's famous Ireland tax strategy. When Apple decided to move its IP to Ireland, they took advantage of the country's territorial tax system and favorable DTA. They basically shifted their profits from the US, where they were taxed at 35%, to Ireland, where they were taxed at just 1%. However, post-BEPS and GILTI reforms, this strategy is no longer viable. Also, it lacked substance and it did not stand the test of time. The problem with this approach is it was all about tax. It didn't consider the broader business implications or the long-term sustainability of the strategy. Plus, it involved moving intangible assets to a country that didn't even have an IP regime. So what we really need is a better model, one that is post-BEPS compliant, globally sustainable, and legally resilient. Let's try to rebuild this model together. So what we want to do is set up 2 Irish subsidiaries, right? One will be responsible for managing the worldwide IP portfolio, and the other will serve as the global sales hub. Both of these companies will be managed from the US, which has a 15% corporate tax rate. By doing so, we can eliminate the need to route profits through high-tax countries, such as Ireland, and potentially save millions in taxes. The first step is to set up 2 Irish subsidiaries, one to hold IP and another as the sales company. The second step is to move IP rights from the US to the Irish company using cost-sharing agreements. The third step is to route global sales through the Irish entity. Now we can get into the implementation of the double Irish with Dutch sandwich structure where possible. And finally, the fourth step is to accumulate offshore profits. By adopting this approach, we can enjoy the benefits of both worlds' low-tax jurisdiction and the intellectual property regime of Ireland. Now let's look at how companies can use DTAs to build sustainable structures. Let us take the example of a Kenyan solar infrastructure firm that has been delivering impactful clean energy solutions across Africa. The company has developed several profitable projects, including a 70-megawatt solar power plant in Kafouka, Egypt. Now this plant generates stable cash flows, but the company faces challenges in accessing affordable financing. Traditional banks demand high collateral, which is difficult for the young company to meet. So here's how the company can use DTAs to solve this problem. This solar firm can pay interest to its Singapore holding company. This payment will be tax deductible in Kenya, and since the Singapore company is receiving passive income, it would be taxable at a low rate of 5%. The second step is for the Singapore entity to distribute profits to the UAE by way of dividends. Since the company's primary residence is in Kenya, this dividend distribution would attract a 10% withholding tax, which is still significantly lower than Kenya's corporate tax rate of 30%. The third step is to transfer funds from the UAE to the UK, which does not levy any tax on the receipt of dividends. This transfer would be completely tax-free, and voila, we've got ourselves a win-win situation. The Kenyan company reduces its tax burden, the Singapore company enjoys a stable source of low-tax income, and the UAE serves as a convenient hub for wealth preservation and reinvestment. And here's a bonus. By keeping profits within the group, we eliminate exchange rate fluctuations and associated taxes. That's what I call a smart, sustainable, and tech-forward structure. Here's how it works. The Kenyan company generates revenue from its operations in Kenya. It then pays interest on a loan to its Singapore holding company. This interest payment is tax deductible in Kenya. Subsequently, the Singapore company distributes profits to the UAE by way of dividends, subject to a 5% withholding tax. Finally, the UAE parent company reinvests these profits back into the group, triggering another round of capital flows. And guess what? The entire process is tax efficient, compliant, and sustainable. Let's look at another example. A pharmaceutical company in India is looking to expand its manufacturing operations to Europe. It plans to set up a subsidiary in Ireland and source active pharmaceutical ingredient API from India. Here's how the company can utilize a DTA to reduce its tax burden. The Indian company sells API to its Irish subsidiary at market value and repatriates profits to India. Due to the India-Ireland DTA, the dividends received by the Irish company are exempt from withholding tax. The Irish company then uses these funds to establish its manufacturing facility and hires local employees. It imports API from India, again benefiting from the DTAS exemption on import. The manufactured products are then sold to European markets, generating profits for the Irish subsidiary. After meeting local reinvestment requirements, the subsidiary repatriates profits to India, again benefiting from the DTAS withholding tax exemption. This optimized structure ensures compliance with both Irish and Indian tax laws. It promotes trade between India and Ireland and contributes to the Indian company's growth in the EU market. There are many reasons why DTAs are important. They promote fair taxation by preventing double taxation of the same income into different countries. They foster closer economic ties between nations, encouraging international trade and investment. And they simplify cross-border transactions by providing clear rules on how income will be taxed. Additionally, they protect taxpayers from conflicting tax laws, offering certainty and predictability in international transactions. In today's interconnected world, every country is striving to claim a share of your global profits. This underscores the significance of DTAs as a vital tool in your international finance toolkit. DTAs offer a lifeline, providing tax relief and shielding your business from potential double taxation. They open doors to cross-border opportunities, allowing you to expand your reach without the fear of conflicting tax laws. Embrace the power of DTAs, navigate the complexities of global taxation with ease, and secure a brighter future for your business. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of DTA optimization. Remember, in the intricate game of international finance, knowledge is power. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay ahead of the curve. Until next time, cheers to your success.